Okay, I'm back. I am in Alice's Adventures in Wonderland again. This can be found at the making of this video on Amazon. All right, I love these books. The pages are nice, the drawings are big, and it tells a story. So I've been going through this in story order and doing a little bit of actual looking things up as I go. So this is the pigeon that I'm going to be coloring from. So if you wonder where I got my colors, that's it. So anyway, lay that to the side. If you missed how to do the circles, go back to the video that's labeled Alice's Adventures in Wonderland Boken, however it's said. Anyway, let's zoom in on that bird. I did read the storyline. It does say that it's a pigeon, so I didn't automatically do it as, you know, a blackbird or a bluebird or something else, but I did want brighter colors. So I have pulled, these are still Crayola, sky blue, cerulean, and if you need to pause and write these down, so that's the light blue and the darker blue. Then I grabbed green blue, so that's my third color. Fourth color is Wild Blue Yonder. Okay. Then I also grabbed Outer Space. I did not grab black because I don't want it quite black. I want it with just a little bit of that navy undertone. And then I grabbed white. So that's a lot of colors. So again, I will try to remember to say colors as I'm coloring, but if not, refer back to your color list that I just gave you if you're wanting to get this effect on something. Okay, that's as far in. Let me move my color wheel. That way I can go in just a little bit further and I can go over. There we go. Get everything. It's always moving, sorry. Okay, so color number 1, the sky blue, is going to happen right up here at the top. Yeah, the only problem I had with this was using blue right next to a ribbon, but I was like, eh. And something else, I had to go back and put this part of the ribbon in when I was doing her hair. I realized I had missed it. So when you see things you miss, go back and get them when you notice. Alrighty, so I'm just doing the top with that light because that's where the light would be hitting, right? Okay, then I'm going to go to my second blue, the cerulean. Alright, I'm going to pull that color right across here. Coming down some, looking at my reference picture, because by the time I get to here at the face and neck, then it's going to move over to that green color. So I'm going to just take my hand back on the pencil some so I'm not as heavy-handed, and I'm going to go ahead and color down here, but lightly. Do it lightly, then when you overlap, it's a whole lot easier to blend. And you can see how well these are blending already. Anytime I have a hard time blending, I can come back with my lightest color. So back to my sky blue and blend between the colors with it. I always use the lighter of the two colors. That way I'm putting more color down on the page and not just moving it around with a blender. Now, because this is slightly raised, I am going to take that second blue, the cerulean, and I'm going to do right here. And you saw, I was here on the pencil. I went down on the pencil because I do want to apply some pressure and make this a little darker. By making it darker, it made this raise up some and push to that eye down. Then I can come back in with the first blue, the sky blue, and blend into that. All right, easily, yep. Now let's go to our green. It's our blue green. Forest green is also a type of blue green in some of the pencils. It's just not what I've used this time. I've used blue green because I am in my Crayola pencils. Now, this area here, you see a big change immediately from here to here. So I am going to come around here and get this area. I'm going to come down some. I'm going to leave that very edge right here all the way around for my next color. Oh, did you see what I just did? I just went back some on the pencil because I want to blend these colors. I don't want to use as much pressure. So if you're heavy-handed and you notice that you're going heavier instead of lighter with your pencil, then go ahead and just move back on that. And it will cause you to be lighter. If you don't go lighter at that point, you're going to snap your pencil. And if you have a good point on it, you're going to break the tip right off. So it kind of forces you to go lighter. But you can see now how we've blended from that lighter blue all the way down through to the green blue. Now I'm going to move over to Wild Blue. Yeah, try that again. Wild Blue Yonder. Okay, so I'm going to move over to it, and I'm going to come in here, and it's quite a bit lighter, but you're going to see that it's going to blend okay because the artist laid down all this dark gray. Okay, so I'm just going to get in here, get right up to those edges, and it's just letting me go back to just a little bit lighter instead of quite as dark. And it makes the transition to the next color not look quite so bold. Okay? It's not so stark, whatever term you want to use. There we go. Just getting that in there. All right. Then next is this outer space, and I'm going to use it just at the edge. Just because I want that contrast right here. You can see it's ever so light, keeping it very light. And this time I am further up on the pencil, but I'm telling myself lighter, 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 so that I do touch the paper very light, but I'm holding it up closer so I do have that control and don't mark all outside the area that I'm wanting to stay within. So that's really pretty good. Now I could go back and do another layer of all these colors to finish getting all the white tooth out of the paper and to make all that pop just a little bit more. All right, the underside Let me see how much I need to move this. Stand up. The underside of the wings on a pigeon are almost always a grayish white. So that's another reason I pulled this wild blue yonder. I'm going to come through here, and I'm further back on the pencil, and I'm going to go over the shadowed areas and into some of the other. The only thing I'm not going to hit is the areas that are white. You know what? I may even hit those too, because this is a pretty good color for on here. Yeah, I am. Changed my mind. I'm just going to go ahead and do all of this. And because of the shading that's already on here, it's not going to take a lot more of anything besides this. I just want to kind of kiss the color on here, so to speak, so that it's not just white. But I do like this color on here. Okay, so I'm going to come through, get all the underside with this color. Okay, just get that color on there. When I'm finished with this book, or enough of it that you can finish on your own if you're following along, I think I'm going to experiment with some markers with colored pencil over the top. I think that's where I'm going to go next, and just see how I can play with that and what works. Yeah, I really, from where I'm sitting, this really looks kind of good, really kind of cool. I am going to go ahead and do this feather that's floating, and this one. I think I'm going to do another layer of this on there. I just really like this color, and I'm thinking, why not? Now, the other thing I can do, because this is on top of this, I can come in with this outer space and watch what happens if I just doodle a little bit in here. I just go around there just a little. I'm going to keep it really light, keep it close to that section. But see, now this is on top of this. Just that little bit makes a difference. But just make sure that it doesn't grow real wide. Keep it in a narrow space. Keep it really narrow and close to the line there. Because you don't want like a huge shadow. You just want a bit on there. And see, then this line comes down here. I could put a little bit down in there. Just enough to make this look like it's on top of it. And see, I actually did lines there accidentally, so just color that out. This color actually has some navy in it, so it works well with the other colors that we've put in. I can come around here, get that some. These are lines that you probably can't even see because they're so light, but I'm darkening them so that they'll lift just a bit. Okay, then I can come through here, go right up next to this, and then fade it out. It's just giving it more dimension. Now the top, again, is in a little bit more color, but it's still going to be a lot of that black and white. So I'm going to take that top wing, and we're going to look at this section here, and I'm going back to that Wild Blue Yonder, and I'm going to put it here. I'm doing a little bit darker this time, okay, because I do want a little bit more color on the top. So this is the top of the opposite wing. Get all that in there. Yeah, these books are so forgiving when you start coloring in them as far as covering up things. Now I'm going back to the outer space. And again, I want to lift this section over the top of this section. So that's why I laid down the darker. And I'm heavy here, and then I'm just kind of fading it out. And then in that aspect, I'm letting the artist's grayscale area kind of take over for me. So I'm really not having to work as hard. This comes out from behind, so I do want to deepen that a little bit so that it pushes it back up in there. Okay. Now let's keep going. We're 16 minutes in. We're doing fine. The tail feathers, you can go either way. You can go the lighter or the darker. I think what I'm going to do, because the underbelly and, well, the side here, it's got so much white in it, I am going to go ahead and lay down some white. Okay, so lay that in there. Then I'm going to come back with that Wild Blue Yonder again. And I'm going to do it here and then over in here. But it's got white underneath, so that's going to lighten this and make it almost a new shade. Almost a total new color. And this is really just in shadow and still kind of that white color. So I'm going to use this there. I'm going to put some here. And then I'm going to do a little trick here. Instead of doing each one of these, I'm changing out to outer space. And I'm going to come through. I'm going to put that line in with a little bit of dark here. Put that line in, a little bit of dark. Put this in pretty dark. But then I'm going to let it get lighter as it comes out so that it blends in with what's already there. And then I don't have to do all those little bitty edges. I'm letting the color from the book do that for me. I'm letting it show. Okay, so like here, I'm going to go ahead and do darker, but then I'm going to get lighter as I'm out here and just let the book do the work. So see, I've popped this to where it looks like it's raised up a little, and I've taken this and pushed it to the back because it's darker, but then I didn't have to do all this fiddly because I just blended into it. Does that make sense? So if you can blend into a part of your book that's what I call fiddly and not have to mess with it, why not? You know? And then there's just some odd little shapes and stuff down in here. So I just did some little scratch marks. Just what I call little texture. All right, I can do that here too. Add a little texture at the edges. Some lines. A little dark here. And basically, he's finished except for his claws. I did not pull color for the claws or the beak or the eye. Now let's look at this again. There's the claws. So pick you any orangey red that you want. Same thing goes on that circle for the eye. And then that beak, we can actually use the colors we've been using. Let's grab white. The white area. There we go. The white areas. All right. And then the let's go with the wild blue yonder on this. Blend it into that. That's okay. It'll blend. Then let's take that outer space that we were using and let's really define that beak. Because he's coming at her. And in the book, it actually says that the pigeon screams serpent at her. So it's not like we want him to be some gentle creature. The middle of the eye is black. And then that outer area is a red, an orange red. We've got time, so let's look real quick. Where are the reds? Of course, up here at the front. Red, orange, and regular red. So I'm going to go to my book. Once I got to the book, I decided instead of red, I was going to pick cocoa. Or no, mahogany. Cocoa's a different language that I obviously don't know. So there's the red. I know it looks weird, but it's really, or that was the red orange, but that's really the way they look. And then I just did the top on both sides. Feet. Ooh, looks mean and menacing. And just make yourself a stopping point because those feathers come down over the top. Same thing over here. Just have a spot where it stops. Yeah, I wouldn't want to meet him any day of the week. All right, and then what I'm going to do with the mahogany is I'm going to get like back in here and then in this little V, in this V, do some down here around the bottom just to kind of add a little extra depth. I'm not going for bloody, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to go for color, depth. There we go. Okay, and there, my friends, we have our pigeon. So hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and always do your research. Yes, his talons, you're right. I am going to go with outer space for his talons because I already have it out. Actually, any dark gray would work. Black may be a little harsh. So that's it. Add any color anywhere you want. He's basically finished. And if we go back and look, well, if I can get the picture to come up, not going to happen. It just asks me if I want to share, and I'm like, nope. So anyway, that's what we started with. So that's, I would say that's pretty good. We got a lot of that color in. Again, I could come back in, add more of this, work some of that tooth out of the paper. You see how just doing that little bit deepened it? So there are lots of times, just use your same colors in the order we did before. If you need to go back and rewind. What is this, VHS? Anyway, if you need to go back and re-watch part of it so you know what colors were there, that's not a problem, do it. You know, it's easily done. I think that's part of the joy with using video, is that you can go back and re-watch and work stuff however you would like. Just go back and repeat the same colors again, just like what we did. But see, I've gotten more of the tooth out of the paper, more of those white dots. That's what we call the tooth. And we're just getting those out of the paper. In fact, I could come in with my lightest shade, which is my sky blue, and I could come through here, really bear down, color this whole section because it's the lightest of all the colors I used, and I can really get the tooth out of that paper. Kind of wish I had taken a picture of what this looked like after that first coat, so we could have compared it to now. But you see how all that now is getting that white tooth out of the paper. Okay, so just keep working with it. Again, it's the lightest shade of whatever you used in a group of colors. All right, I did not go with white because that would actually break it down and dull everything. Yeah. So for you that were with me on the last video with the turkey, I looked it up and it's actually not a turkey. Remember, we were in Beautiful Birds by Millie. It's actually called a gray peacock pheasant. So I am now going through with gel pens and just doing all the dots. But yeah, I just kept using different shades of those Colors of the World pencils until I got it to where I liked it. So those pencils are pretty cool. If you missed that video, I believe it was the one right before this. It was shown on my anniversary on the 14th. So you can go back and catch that. I think that's when it was shown. Anyway, if not, then it is going to be a few days after that. So anyway, yeah, I want to say it was the 14th that came up. All right, that's it for now. I will see you all in a few days. And I think what we're going to do, I'm thinking we're going to jump into some of these animals again. Let's see. I'm thinking these guys. I think that would be a fun page to tackle next. So we'll see. In the book, this is, or let's see, these muted colors. I think I'm going to go with like teals and purples and stuff. But I need to just let you go for now. Come back in a few days and see what we can do with this guy. All right, bye.